Hello guys, and welcome. Here, you might not recognize this game. It's a brand new one that I'm playing. Well, I've had this game for a long time actually. I've got over 100 hours in it. I'm not as good as I should be for the amount of time I've put into it. So anyway, this is a really awesome game, Civ 5. I love this game. It's really awesome, and I'm not sure how many of you are actually familiar with it. But if you're not familiar with it, come on, give it a shot. It is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. And if you are familiar with it, then you already know that it's amazing. So, you might ask, why am I doing this alone? Well, two reasons. First, Cobra's at work. Second, this is not her style of game. So, I'll be playing this one alone. Maybe you guys will like that, maybe not, I don't know. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and explain the basics of this game. Well, I'll explain the basics in-game, I think, for the people who are pretty new to this. Basically, it's turn-based strategy. So, yeah, that's the genre. This Civilization games have been around since like the early 90s. But of course, back then they were a lot more basic and the graphics were a lot less fancy. So anyway, with this particular game, I'm going with a customized leader. I customized the name on Gandhi a little bit. Now, the reason that I chose Gandhi is that, well, to explain this game a little bit, basically you run a civilization, and in the civilization, your civilization is based on cities. So, with Gandhi, you get more unhappiness from the number of cities you have, but half the unhappiness from the number of population. Basically, the math works out that that is really good for having a large empire. And as long as you don't have tons of cities with each with low population, Gandhi's trait works out to be absolutely amazing, which is why I love using him so much. Plus, the added bonus of I don't actually have to fight him in-game, because one of the jokes the Civilization development team loves to do is they make Gandhi love to nuke everybody. So they've got a good sense of humor over there. Anyway, I'll explain more about the unhappiness and happiness later on in game, probably. Basically, unhappiness is bad, happiness is good. Self-explanatory. And there's various ways to increase unhappiness and happiness. Basically, having a big population or various other things causes unhappiness. So, we'll try to avoid unhappiness and get as many happinesses as we can. Anyway, the map type is continents. So, that's self-explanatory. I mean, look at the little picture right here if you don't understand. Map size standard. And let's see, I actually don't like city-states, so I just turn them off. And number of players, I might turn it down to 6 just because I like a little bit of breathing room in maps. So I'm not completely sure, maybe I'll step it up to 8, but with 6 it should be a faster game because I'll have fewer people to conquer. Difficulty level is just normal, which I like for instance a reasonably nice balance. I'm not that great at this game. But then again, the AI is absolutely terrible at war. I mean, they have no sense of strategy whatsoever. Their main tactic is to throw all their units at you until they all die, and then they demand absolutely unreasonable peace treaties when you are winning, which makes no sense whatsoever. They really do need to tweak that AI. Anyway, normal difficulty, game pace, marathon. Some of you might not like this, but don't worry, I'm going to try to keep this a fast Let's Play. Even though it is on marathon, I should be able to just do quick turns and just go crushing through my enemies. It's going to be fun. Anyway, advanced setup, 0 city-states. Those of you with some experience in this area can just look at all the settings. We're going for pure conquest victory. And there's allow policy saving, which if you're familiar with Civ, you know what that means. If you don't know what it means, it's not a huge deal, it's convenient, mostly. Also, I turned off barbarians, so there won't be random enemies just sitting around the place for no reason, which I don't like. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of these guys off, just so we can get this game through with faster, so I have 2 fewer people to conquer. Okay, let's see. I was considering playing with resources on abundance, so basically there would be just resources everywhere. And that makes the game easier, but it also gives an advantage to your enemies at the same time, so, you know, it goes either way. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's start this game. Okay, so basically there's just a loading screen. I'm actually going to cut this part out. It's boring. Okay, guys, we're back. The computer's still reading this block of text, so we're going to get started now. So, let's see here. Sorry about that, just getting interrupted all the time. So, as I was saying, I'm going to get some little statistics up here on the top of my screen once I found a city. So, let's see. There's oil up here, and gems, and bananas right there. I am going to want to found my city, my first city anyway, right over there. That's the exact spot. So I am going to waste a turn on not founding a city in the first turn, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. We are playing on Marathon, so it shouldn't be a huge hit. What's over here? Ooh. Oh. This terrain over here. This looks... I spawned in an excellent place. I like this. I'm a little worried of... I was expecting there to be more land area, like more continents, but oh well. If there's a player over here, I might need to kill it quickly, and possibly with fire. I am going to want to get a city down to get this. This is a very nice tile. That just, I can't even tell you how nice that is. That's a nice extra 10 gold a turn. Our economy will be great if we can get that. Let's see. I might plop a city right there. The only problem is it would be low on food, at least at first, but it would have the ocean to help it out with that. But it does get marble, iron, oil, more iron, stone, and this, which would make it a pretty nice city if only it could work all of that. So I think I am going to actually send one of my settlers down over there. And of course I'm going to send some military down there. Alright, so for those of you unfamiliar, you can see down here is the world map. This world is divided into hexes. Previous games used squares, but hexes are nicer. And yeah, for those of you, did I mention before that I'm starting in the future era? So basically, starting out late game. But that just saves a lot of time in conquering. Let's see, first thing I'm going to need to do is move a guy over there. They're going to have to start building a farm soon, and this other settler... I'm not sure where to put him. Yeah, I'm not entirely... Maybe over here somewhere, but I'm not too sure on that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be another player over here somewhere. There's too many resources over here for there to not be another player. Which means I think I should just not risk it and send this guy over this way, in this direction. Yeah, it's going to get... Looks like 3 fish... Actually, 4 fish resources, so that's going to be a nice growing city. And of course, I'm me, so I'm trying to point at my computer screen while I'm doing this. Alright, so I'm going to send another guy over there. Should be good. And, ooh, down here is pretty beautiful, actually. I might just... No, I need a good production city, but I will place another city over here soon. But I do need... Because over here is going to be a very nice production city. And I should clarify what I mean by this. In this game, you see these little hammers on the map? That counts as your city's production level. Well, the more hammers they can work nearby, the more production your city gets to build things faster. As you can see, there are little green apples here that represent food. And obviously that lets your city grow faster, all sorts of good things. You can also see a little gold here. Obviously that's money. And you can see a whole lot of gold over here, which is why I want to stick a city down here. It'll grab this, it'll be happy, everything will be wonderful and good. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and move some military around. I'm actually going to send one of my troops down to go check out if there is actually an opponent right over here. Because if there is, I might want to blitz that guy for his uranium. Not a phrase I use often, but still. Let's see, I'm going to send one of my workers down over here. They basically build improvements for the terrain that increases its hammer, gold, or food output. Which, I mean, without workers, I have no idea how this game would function. I mean, cities would be of lower production value, and things are just good with workers. Okay, so I'm going to end my turn, and because I started in the future area, I already have satellites researched. In fact, pretty much the entire technology tree is pretty much done. Most games you start off just down here, and then you have to slowly work your way through all of these technologies. But since I started late in the game, I get to start all the way down over here in the future era. And the thing about satellites is that you get to see the entire map with once you get satellites. And since I started in the future, I get all the technologies from modern era and before, which includes some pretty cool ones. Like you get stealth bombers, which are my favorite unit in this game. They are so powerful. They do require aluminum though, which I am gonna want to find some aluminum. I don't see any on this map yet. Ooh, this is a nice place for another city. I might consider putting a city there. Okay, but stop getting greedy here. Okay, end turn. And what do we have here? Whoa, holy crap. There is no opponent over here. I was completely expecting there to be an opponent there. Well, that's great. That is absolutely a very, very good thing. That means I can just snatch up that uranium, no problem. Oh, and there's a lot of nice terrain everywhere. See, this is my problem when I play Civ. I get really greedy with the terrain. I try to grab all of it at once. Anyway, this guy is still going to get onto that hill and build a city there because of all the good things around it. But actually, this settler, I don't think I'm going to send him over here. I think I'm going to send him down over here somewhere. Down here, I'd love to grab that coal if I could, but I don't think that I can. I think I'm going to plant a city here so it can grow 3 tiles out to grab this uranium that's down here, and grab this coal over here, and this, and this. It'd be too far to grab this, but I might just plop a second city down. Plus, it's got a mountain over here, tons of jungle, forest. Should not be bad for production. But I am going to send my military back now because I'm not yet putting a city over here. I still might do that later, though, so don't worry. Even though I know you weren't worried. Now what to do with my workers? Alright, this one's going to head over here. And this guy is going to head... I think I am going to move him farther to the only opponent I actually have on this continent, who is China. And they have uranium and oil. Not too much oil. That's a fair bit of oil right next to China. And do they have any aluminum? That's a lot of oil next to China, actually. As long as I don't have aluminum, I should be okay. They do have a very nice starting spot, though. Oh, they've got a lot of aluminum right next to them. Yeah, they are going to be my first opponents. Oh, there's an island out here. Interesting. It's not a bad island, actually. I might plop a city on it later. I could even use it as an Air Force base to attack. I think this is... Oh, no, that's America over here. So the nice thing about satellites is we can go check out all our enemies' land right now. I love it. So, he also has uranium. This is going to be a fun game. Okay, he spawned in a really nice spot, but he didn't place his city on the water. AIs, they're weird. Which would have been really smart for him to do that, but he didn't, so all the better for us. Alright, our next opponent is Persia. They spawned in in a really damn awesome spot. He's got aluminum, marble, coal, 7 oil, stone, hills in production, food. Okay, that's going to be a really powerful spawn. I can tell he's going to be a problem later. And then we have Montezuma down here, who has brilliantly spawned on a lake. I mean, technically, the game considers this an ocean because it's just barely big enough, but this is a lake. If he starts to build a navy, I will laugh. So, he doesn't seem to be too big of a threat. He spawned next to mostly luxury resources, which are things like sugar and wine and cows. So, not too worried about him, but down here we have Japan, who spawned right next to a large pile of aluminum. There's silk, there's fish, there's deer, there's sheep. That's not a bad spawn. And, ooh, if I was him, I would put a city right here, probably, to grab this aluminum and all of that oil. Okay, so we do have, in general, some pretty strong opponents. But our spawn is also pretty nice. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. And plus I do get to start with a little bit of oil, but looking at it, I'm going to need more oil. A lot more oil because I'm a big navy guy in this game, and so I require a large amount of oil to function. I'm, may need to go for this oil up here. Oh, actually, I didn't see this. There's a small amount of uranium down there. That's going to be really nice. So I'm probably going to plant a city right there. Probably. I can grab so many good resources with that. So, end turn, let's see what everybody else does. Down on here on this other little map. They have not yet founded their other cities. And there we go. Finally, we got our capital city going. And now, as you can see, we've got, small warning up here. I'm not really sure what the deal is with this, maximum unit support, but clearly we have too many. We need to increase our city's population to support that many. Because I think we've spawned with too many or something. Not exactly sure how the system works. But anyway, these workers, I'm going to have these guys start to build a farm, which will increase the food production value of this hexagon over here. And let's see, I'm going to have these mechanized infantries garrisoned in the city. Let's give it a nice combat boost. Because combat in Civ 5 is actually really good. I like it a lot. Let's see, I'm going to send a worker down south to try to hook up. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I have the oil down here in the south too. That's going to be good. Very, very nice. So I will actually be able to have a pretty good navy, I think. But let's take a look at our research. I say we go with nuclear fusion so we can build giant death robots, which actually I don't really like those. I don't know, I never really liked the giant death robots. They felt out of place in this game. So anyway, you can see here all the things that our city can build right now. We are missing the resources for some of these things, like modern armor requires 1 aluminum each. Like that's 1 aluminum for every unit that we have built, which actually makes no sense really. You'd think it would be oil, but oh well. Same thing for jet fighters and stealth bombers. Okay, stealth bombers and modern armor and battleships pretty much form the core of my military, which is why I like grabbing oil and aluminum. So I think in this city, I am going to build, and then you can see down here there's a whole bunch of buildings that you can build. Very nice, very nice. So first thing I'm going to do though is build a workboat so I can collect this oil that's out just off the coast because, you know, it's oil, it's good. Oil is good. Okay, this is turn 3, and I can adopt a policy. This is what I was talking about earlier in the game. Basically, each of these policies can do different things for you. I personally am going to go with liberty and then autocracy, which is not really, they don't really make sense together, but this lets me expand my civilization quickly, and this helps me with my military. So, I'm going to go liberty and collective rule, and adopting this policy actually gives me a free city to place wherever I want. And then I'm going to go with autocracy, which is actually going to help my money situation. Not a lot at first, but in the long run, that's going to help me a lot because it decreases unit maintenance significantly, which, you know, that helps me. I have to pay less for my cities, which is very good for me. And let's see, where did I want to put another city? Ooh, aluminum. Which, oh wait, that's right next to China. They'll get mad at me if I put a city over there. So I am probably going to plant my city. Let's see, there's a spot over here, which is very nice, and I might just do that. Possibly a spot down here, which is also very nice. Or a spot over here, or... You know what? Actually, I'm going to send this guy over here. Just to grab the oil and the uranium. Because uranium is good. It lets us build nukes, and giant death robots, and nuclear power plants. So let's see. Send this worker farther down this way. I'm going to take this city, and I'm going to plant it right here in Mumbai. And the city is starving to death. That's not good. Alright, I'm going to have to do something about Mumbai right away before it starves to death. that should maybe help, I think. Didn't help quite enough, but let's see here. There we go. Okay, basically, every city needs to have enough food to not starve to death. And having this city in the middle of the desert made it very close to starving to death. So I needed to buy the tiles that had large amounts of fish on them, so I could get an extra +8 food, which was just enough to keep this thing from starving to death. So this city's going to build a workboat so we can even further increase the amount of food that it gets from those fish. So let's see. Then these mechanized infantry are going to garrison in the city. This guy is going to head and secure the location for the new city, because we do really need that spot. So let's see here. Things are going well. I'm very happy with the start that I got here. So I'm going to send this military unit over here to greet China. And actually, no one else has founded a second city yet. That's kind of weird. You'd think they would have founded those cities by now. Oh well. All the better for me. Where was this guy going? I think he's the one who's going off to over here. Yeah, I don't always keep track of my units great, so I might lose some occasionally, but, you know, oh well. Alright, next turn, let's see what we got. Is anyone going to found a city on here? It looks like they are... Ooh, we met China. Okay, let's see. Right now, China feels very neutral towards me. Another thing about civilization, all the AIs want to kill you always, all the time. That's just, you know, that's how they are. They are always trying to stab you in the back. They are never your friends. Remember that. Never try to be friends with a civilization AI. They will kill you. So then, I'm going to send this military unit out to help my city. And I'm going to go ahead and secure a location down here for a city. And I hope China doesn't place a city too close to down here. Because if they do, it's going to provoke a war soon. And I'd rather wait a little bit before going to war. You know, long enough to actually get some guys. Get some guys ready for a war. Let's see. Place that. There we go. That is going to actually be a really nice city. I can tell already. Lots of production. Lots of food. Good resources. It'll be nice. So let's see here. And I think I'm going to bring this mechanized infantry down closer to over here to help secure the area in case China decides to attack me. Because just a little heads up, China's not really that friendly. They will attack me. It's just a matter of time. Actually, right now, I want to build a destroyer just to have a navy of some kind. Because one of the things you don't want to do is get caught with your pants down and no military in this game. Let's see here. Found a city. So let's see what we've got. No, the game brought me over here to look at these guys again. So, oh, okay. We got to choose the production in the city that has this name that I don't know what that name is. So, first thing I'm going to do over here is build workboats to collect the fish and the oil. That's not a sentence that I've used very frequently throughout my life. But, oh well. And next turn, let's see. I know we've got a few other cities around by now, so... Alright, now we will increase the food and the gold by 1 I really wish the game wouldn't move you around so fast. So basically, I've increased the food production value here to 5, so our city is actually growing now, which is always nice, and they're going to build another workboat so they can grow even further. And this settler... Next turn I should be able to found my 4th city. And I hope China doesn't attack me too soon, because that would be very annoying. Alright, are we ready? And... there we go. Unfortunately, my happiness is still positive. I said I would explain this later, so I guess I have to. We are getting 35 total happiness and 34 total unhappiness. Most of the unhappiness is from the number of cities, and There's some of it from the population. But as the population grows, Gandhi's effect is going to help out with that and reduce the unhappiness from the increased population. Because I'm sticking with 4 cities for a little while, at least until I kill China and take their cities from them, but by then I should be really good for a solid war and be able to maintain all those extra cities. So let's see. Production over here is going to be a worker because I've got a lot of tiles to improve and build improvements on, like mines, farms, plantations, all kinds of cool things. Ooh, we're in 2003. And you can tell that I actually named my guy Atomic, so yeah. China's not doing the best for their city placement. No coastals, even though really this should have been a coastal city. I don't know why they didn't put it on the coast, so they cannot make any kind of a navy right now. Actually, only Japan and Persia a little bit can actually build a navy. So I should be able to take control of the seas and own the... Ooh, this is a nice island. This is a really nice island. I should stick a colony on this thing. It's got aluminum, oil, like 6 uranium. Ooh. Yeah. Think I'm gonna stick a city on this island. It's just wonderful over here. It's filled with resources. I really hope Japan doesn't grab that thing. If they do, then that's too bad for me. Because that's an awesome island down here on the little mini map. So, anyway, let's see, next turn. I am a little bit worried that I'm going to get boring, just keep talking about this constantly. So, I hope I don't. So I hope those of you that aren't familiar with Civ are starting to become more familiar with it. Well, you should be. I mean, now you've seen some of it. And if you want, there are lots of Civ 5 Let's Plays out there. Well, not tons of them, but, you know, there's... Well, wait a minute, I don't want to build a worker here. What am I thinking? Over here, I am going to want to build... I think I'm going to want to go with a building over here. I think a harbor would be pretty good to have over here. It gets 1+1 production from each of those fish, and it makes a trade route with my capital. So I am actually going to build that harbor. And that's going to help me much more than the worker will. Even though a worker would be really nice because this one that I have already is pretty slow. Ooh boy, okay, I'm gonna go with this policy. Basically, I'm gonna try and fill out this autocracy tree because once I do that, I can really build up my military nice. I mean, like, really good military. Like, barely a contest to conquer everybody on Prince. Well, not... When I say barely a contest, I mean, it's still gonna be fun to watch, but it should be a slaughter. But of course, I still have to get to that point, and it might take a little bit of time to get there. Ooh, get to choose my production in this other city that I have no idea what this city is called. So, over here, gonna want to go with a harbor, definitely. Now, the only question is, should I go for the oil or the fish? Ooh, and I can get the uranium soon. I think I'm gonna go with the oil? But then I'm gonna have to buy that spot. And my money isn't great right now. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Usually I'm just used to having hundreds of gold per turn and then not spending it, so I always have tons in excess when I do need to spend it. Which works out pretty nicely for me. In later game anyway. Okay, good. So our worker over here is done. He is going to build a farm. Just because I've got to increase the food production. And this guy is going to build a harbor because I do want to link up my cities. And building a harbor is much cheaper than actually building roads. Because roads are actually really expensive, and I also have to build a harbor in my capital if I actually want to take advantage of any of these harbors. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to start working on that harbor soon. Let's see, build a quarry. Now that's good because once that quarry is done, it's going to give us more happiness. Happiness is good. Happiness keeps my people from rebelling against me and trying to murder me. That is bad. Don't think I would have to tell you that, but that is bad when my people try to kill me. Okay, harbor 6 turns. That's actually really good, especially for Marathon. So, first place I'm going to send my navy is probably going to be to head around to the other continent and try to meet with some of those civilizations.